Coming in at dead last, we have Zeds. I mean, come on. The maps are ugly, the guns are horrible, and the zombies don't have pathfinding, and literally cannot kill you. Number 71, Shadows of the Dead. Again, ugly map, bad guns, bad zombies, and there's even a spot in the map you can never leave if you fall into it. Number 70, Zombie Apocalypse Remake. This game just does everything wrong. Number 69, ACS Undead. You know it's bad when they have to use ACS as its main selling point. Number 68, Call of Duty Blocks at War. While the maps look really good, everything else just is crudely made and poorly thrown together. Number 67, Durice. Most things are broken, and even if they weren't, the guns still feel like trash, and the map is scaled down so small. At least the pathfinding is good. Number 66, Rise of the Undead. Not Rise of the Dead, Rise of the Undead. Fighting the zombies in the sprawl room is really aggravating, but because they have no pathfinding, they literally never leave it. And I don't know if the devs stopped making the doors this overpriced when making the game more fun. All it did was just slow down the gameplay. Number 65, Call of ROBLOX from 2016. The turbo fusion guns were very bad, and this game broke so often you couldn't even make it past the first 2 rooms without it breaking. And that's it for the T tier. We're gonna move on to the F tier. Number 64, Zombies Bunker. This is essentially a worse version of ACS Zombies, so I'll just move on. Number 63, Thing is Zombies. While I like the weapon variety, the guns just feel so wrong, and why? Why did they choose Nact as a setting? I mean, if the map was more original, I'd bump this up a little. But this game's entire personality is its stupid fucking antagonist. Number 62, ACS Zombies. This game could have been so much better, but it's set in Nact, the absolute bare bones zombies map. Again, this game's main selling point is that it uses ACS weapons, which is a trash weapon system to begin with. Number 61, Zombie Inbreak. This game is ranked higher than the ROS 2 for just one reason. Its map was original, and there was an endgame. There were literally only semi-automatic weapons though, and the zombies didn't have pathfinding. I did not say ROS, by the way. Number 60, Trenches of Hell. It hurts me to say this, but I don't remember this game being that great. There were very few weapons, the map was very basic, and it was incredibly difficult. Number 59, Nerf FPS Zombies. The zombies had no pathfinding, and the game was extremely boring, but I did like the weapon selection and the idea behind the game. Number 58, Project Z. Again, it uses ACS weapons, but the weapon selection is very limited, which is uncharacteristic for these games that use ACS weapons. Like, seriously, that is unforgivable. Number 57, Order 99. Now, I really love that this game has soul boxes, and the portal feature is pretty cool, and so is the pack-lunch opening sequence, but this game is so frustrating to play. The zombies are way faster than you are, and are incredibly hard to kill even with upgraded weapons. The weapons themselves just feel wrong, and you can't even get new weapons mid-game. Number 56 and 55, it's tie between both Nacto and Totems by Foxic Banjo. Obviously, these games are very old and barely work, but I do really like the weapon variety and the overall aesthetic of these games. These games are still kind of fun in a way. Number 54, The Undead. Listen, I'm literally trying to fucking read off the script, and I keep fucking messing up, so I'm gonna put everything in text. Yeah, there you go. Number 53, Prototype Zombie Game. Yeah, it's unfair to judge this as it is just a prototype, but I still gotta keep it somewhat consistent. Even judging by the 3 weapons we have, the gun system isn't bad, and the map looks surprisingly good for a prototype. Number 52, Zombie Zappers. Now, it's incredibly obvious this game isn't put together very well, but this is probably the most avant-garde game on this list. You've got zombies made of all kinds of materials, you got bosses, and these maps, while very simplistic in design, they have a lot of charm. Despite all these shortcomings, I actually love this game. And that's all for the F tier. Let's move on to the T tier. Number 51, Quantrum from 2015. Unfortunately, I can't show gameplay footage of this as it doesn't exist, and that's why it's also at the bottom of D tier. Listen, this game is hard. No matter how hard I tried at it, I always ended up dying around 5 before making any real progress. From what I remember, it actually looks really good. It just got deleted as it used assets from Phantom Forces, mainly the guns. Number 50, and this is also one that's no gameplay, The Zombie Apocalypse 2 by Darkly. A remake of the original from 2011, but the zombies were replaced with actual players. The guns were replaced with newer gun meshes, which are now considered old, and a few new perks were added. But this game never got finished, and I never got far into it. Number 49, Zombie Game. This game doesn't work anymore, but I played it when it still did. There was only 3 weapons, but the map design wasn't too bad, and the game was somewhat fun. It might just be nostalgia bias. Number 48, Call of ROBLOX CF5, ROBLOX at War, The Zombies from 2011. Listen, I know some of y'all veterans might not enjoy this, but allow me to explain. I really can't bring myself to rank it any higher than the next ones. It's just so bare bones. You've got the guns, and that's really it. It's cool that there was zombie dismemberment, but this is as basic as it gets. Number 47, Battle Ops. Now, this is one of the only games on this list that I've never actually played, but for 2017, this game is pretty impressive. Realistic human and zombie models, that's about it. And while the weapon variety was good, it being on actor and tone, I mean, really? Number 46, Zombie Invasion. While the weapon variety and maps aren't terrible, this game is just extremely boring. It's too easy. Making progress feels like it takes forever. It's really just like Zombie Uprising without the ability to make classes with modified weapons, and the guns are really awkward to shoot. Number 45, Call of ROBLOX Zombies. Now, if we were talking about the 2022 version, I would have said F tier, but this version comes with improved guns, and that's really it. But really the only thing holding this game back was the guns. And this game is actually somewhat fun, and the map is at least somewhat original. Yeah, it's a bunker again, but I still stand by my point. Also, I really love that the zombies won't get stronger, but stronger zombies will start to appear. But this game is still pretty bare bones, so it's not that special. Number 44, the newer Quantrum. Now, you're probably gonna guess that I don't like the fact that this game only has 4 weapons, which, yeah, that is true, but I highly respect the effort that was put into the map. I mean, this still looks good by today's standards. Michael's Zombies doesn't even come close to this level of quality. I mean, if the devs were to come back for this game with more weapons, perks, and maybe a fully fledged Easter egg, this game has so much potential, but as it stands, it's extremely bare bones, so it goes into D tier. Number 43, Valor. Yes, the critic did say this isn't a CoD clone, but that's bullshit. This game looks really good, but it is kind of underwhelming in every other aspect as of now. The standard map has nothing to offer. The event, while somewhat fun, was really repetitive and grindy, but I do like the weapon selection. And just not that the upgraded weapons are also locked behind the box. Number 42, Paragon Zombies. Listen, I know I'm gonna get comments asking for this game, so here it is. I don't like this game. That's just it. Number 41, Clinic Dertone. The game felt pretty good to play, but there was an issue with me accidentally pressing 1 and breaking the game. Listen, this was back in 2014. Every other game used tools. Number 40, Horde. I'm putting it this low because I hadn't played the game enough to remember anything about it, but I did like the weapon selection, and the maps were pretty fun to play in. It was just a hard game, and I don't remember if there was Pack-a-Punch. Number 39, Haarstemming. It's lower than the rest because being one of the oldest CoD clones ever, it was pretty jank. The weapon selection was pretty cool, and the Pack-a-Punch variants were even more so. Number 38, Call of ROBLOX Zombies, we'll just refer to as the Star Battle remake. While I highly respect that someone faithfully recreated the Star Battle games, it doesn't exactly play well. The guns feel really weak, and the downscaled maps feel cramped with how fast the player moves. Number 37, Star Battles Derbies. Despite what I said about the last game, this game's movement doesn't feel all too right either. The running was really unresponsive, and the hit detection could be faulty at times. Not as bad as Michael's Zombies detection, but still pretty bad. And just because I had someone in my comment section asking where the other games were, I'm just going to do a mini ranking right here. Number 4 is Nax because there's no perks, which is objectively not fun. At 3rd, there's Shi no Numa. At 2nd, there's Verrückt. I have no idea why, but I found this to be the most fun one. and Durace is of course number 1. Number 36, Logitech's Calvarblaxia. No, that's not how you pronounce that. Again, really old game that was hardly functional, but for the sake of fairness, I'm going to talk about the recreation. The hit detection issue has been mostly fixed, and all the weapons got knives and pack-punch variants, and the perks not only work, but are a little exaggerated. Plus, the map's layout is pretty good for 2011. We also had some custom maps come out of this one. Number 35, another Durace clone. We'll call this one Headtrip Race. I could not properly explain why, but I really like that everything about this game just feels poorly made to a certain degree. The map, the guns, the grenades, well, really just the map. It's not big, it's just fat. And I really like that the box would play a big checker song when you got the teddy bear. Sadly, the audio got removed. Apparently this game is broken, but I've yet to come across any game-breaking glitches. To finish off D tier, we have Rise of the Undead at number 34. Now, while there's gameplay in the background, I'm just going to take the time to just explain the tiers. Any games in the D tier are not bad by any means, they just happen to be lacking a lot of things. Not like F tier where a lot of things take away from the game, and T tier where it shouldn't even qualify as a game. Games in the C tier are generally going to be games that I believe are good as Roblox games, but they wouldn't stand a chance as a standalone game. In B tier's case, it's a little weird because the games in the bottom section will qualify as C tier games, but there's a few things about them that I feel separates them from the rest of C tier. And obviously anything above bottom B is most likely really good. Anything in A tier are games that I have high respect for and enjoy playing on the regular, except for one, which I'll get into in a minute. And S tier are both very high quality and are the most fun to play. And spoiler alert, there won't be any games in highest tier, because I don't feel any game of Roblox has reached that point yet. Anyways, back to the tier list. Rise of the Undead is much more advanced in terms of graphics and gunplay than the rest of D tier, and possibly even gameplay mechanics, as it's just the first one where being outside kills you. But I don't really care for its weapon selection or aesthetic. I see they were trying to go for 2007 style, which I never really understood why people liked, and this game was also really annoying to play. You don't get very many points for kills, which can be stressful for the first 10 ways that you don't have power or perks. Moving into C tier, we have the new Dead House at number 33. And this is more of a killing floor clone than a CoD Zombies clone, but I'm counting it anyways. There's really not much to do in this game, well, as of now. You just kill zombies, open doors, and buy better guns, and that's it. No perks or any sort of upgrade or any objectives. I guess you do have missions, but I don't think they're all that fun. Number 32, Zombie Universe. Now, I don't recall having played this more than one time, but I personally found it really boring. While it's impressive that they managed to make both Origins and Mob of the Dead, everything else about the game just sucks. Bad gun scripts, bad zombie AI, and everything was really slow. Number 31, Miscellaneous X. I really like the guns, but past round 10, this game is completely unfair. The zombies suddenly become faster than you, and by the time this happens, you only have one of the following. Good guns, good perks, or enough of the map opened up, just not two or all of them. Number 30, Zombie Zone. This isn't really a CoD clone, but I do really like grinding for the master skins in this game. It's a shame that it's a little broken because the creator got terminated in 2018, less than a year after this game's release. Number 29, the old ZombieCon. I don't know if this counts as a CoD clone either, but I know I'd get comments about it anyways. I really like the weapon selection in this game. Even if there weren't too many, all of them were memorable and the guns felt great to shoot, and I also really like the defense aspect. Number 28, Bloxy Survival. Normally I detest when games make gun shoot salt for no reason, but I believe it works in this game's favor. This game's got the right level of difficulty and selection of fun weapons. It's just too bare bones to be replayable as of now. Number 27, Julie Cat's Zombie Apocalypse. Again, a bare bones game, but for its time, it was pretty sick. It's got the classic Roblox weapons, and there's multiple zombie types, and I also really like the Easter eggs in this game. Plus, this is one of the best lobbies ever. Man, I really wish we could just bring back cool lobbies. Nowadays, it's just all menus and small rooms that have no character whatsoever. Number 26, Zombie Apocalypse Reborn. I'm sure anyone who's played both games can agree that this version is just objectively better. More guns, improved graphics and gunplay, a new zombie type, and a pack-punch machine that applies to some weapons, just not all. Number 25, are Zombies. This game's map selection is really impressive, having had like 15 maps in total, and some of them look really good. It's just this game is really awkward to play. You feel so slow even with staring up, and zombies have a ridiculous hitting range. And also, this game uses goddamn ACS. Listen, I do like the amount of weapons this game has, but them being ACS just ruins them all. And to close off bottom C tier, we have Furry Arena at number 24. This game is really well made, especially considering the developer was literally 12 years old when it came out. But I just don't find it fun. First off, when I was 12, I was just figuring out how to make action games. Secondly, Labyrinth has a really big issue with lighting, and I just cannot justify the idea of making the power station upbuildable. Also, the Shark Boys in Klondike are really annoying. It's not even like they're their own special round, they just come out of nowhere to kick your ass. Number 23, Endless Survival from Sactic. I really love the concept of a CoD zombies clone taking place in Area 51, and this game manages to just deliver. It's just that there's so many goddamn rooms that it's so easy to just die. Listen, I'm all for getting lost in a zombies map and getting familiar with an environment, but when you have to open a million doors just to ensure you're not going to get wrecked just because you're under-geared, it's really stressful. But I do really like that you can hold as many weapons as you want. Never mind that it contradicts that you can only have 3 perks. Number 22, Rotten. It's such a shame that development for this game seems to have stopped, because this game just looks so good, and the guns are great, it feels so satisfying to shoot. It's just so bare bones as of now. Number 21, Deadhouse. Again, great weapon selection, still a little bare bones, but unlike the last game, this does have its own way of upgrading weapons, with ammo types, which were really fun to use. They just didn't pay for themselves before you ran out of it. Interestingly, this game also spawned some custom maps. I played a couple of them, but I forgot the names. Number 20, NSF. This is definitely one of the most unique clones out there, with zombies having been replaced with noobs. About time they would fucking listen. And the recreation of Deadhouse is just so good. I wish they would have done more with it, like add more objectives outside of just grabbing parts with a pack-a-punch. And while the guns are really fun to use, especially along with their upgraded counterparts, they just don't feel powerful. Number 19, Zombies Test. No, this is not a test version of Michael Zombies. The Zombies mode itself is really bare bones, but since this is built on ROBLOX 5 engine from 2013, yeah, I spent hours in this game. I really love that you can just put attachments on whatever gun you want and use them to kill zombies, which is not something we'd get until 9 years later, but this game was incredibly glitchy. Number 18, Double MC Zombies. While I generally like the maps and the pacing, there's not much this game has to offer. The weapons feel really awkward to use, and their upgraded counterparts aren't that great. Number 17, Deadshot. I really love the visuals in this game. I like that this game uses weapons from CSGO, and some of the upgraded weapons can be really fun to use, but again, there's not much you can do in this game. And yes, this game did copy Knack for the 20th time, but I will say they managed to pull it off. It could have been a lot more interesting if it were a different vector style map instead, and didn't use ACS. Number 16, Zombies Are Coming. While I love its Easter egg, it's just a frustrating game to play. The guns can't shoot through invisible walls, the zombie AI is really messy, and all the guns are just disappointingly weak. And the step where you have to shoot orbs with bows and Der Stalindrack is so ungodly annoying. Number 15, ZombieCon Anniversary. In terms of gunplay and movement, this game's got it down. The weapon selection is some of the best in any ROBLOX game ever. A lot of them were locked behind a paywall, but they were so cheap it might as well not even matter. And the zombie types are really cool. This game is just a little repetitive and can be extremely tedious if you're the only one alive on the later wave. Number 14, Project Lazarus. Like ZombieCon, the gunplay and movement is near perfection. It's just this game also happens to be extremely repetitive, and there's not an ending other than death. The weapon variety and upgrades are great and all, but any time spent playing a game like this just feels meaningless. Number 13, Recall Zombies. Now, I know what you're thinking, this game sucks, and I will agree to an extent. I think the fact that all 3 of its maps are unoriginal is really shitty. But where this game shines is the weapon selection. Yeah, the class system is cool, you can upgrade your health to the max and basically never die, but some of these weapons are borderline unhinged. And to kick off C tier, we have the old Resurrection at number 12. I don't really have much to say about this game, seeing as my computer was too shitty to run it back in 2017, but I really like the weapon variety, and the visuals are incredible for this time, and I'd say it holds up today. Also, the turn mode was kinda fun. Number 11, Corrupt. I think this game is really overhyped, and it's really only impressive in its graphics in that we finally have another zombie game with its mastery camos, which I really love, and it's the only reason why this isn't in C. This game just looks so bland, and its maps aren't all that great either, and I really don't like the point system. Number 10, Zombie Uprising. Again, a game that's only in B tier because of the fact that it has weapon mastery. Honestly, I wouldn't even consider this a clone, but I do really appreciate it as the ability to level up weapons is not something present in many other zombie games. It's a lot of fun to do, and believe me, I've done all of them. And because I've done all of them, really the only time it feels worth playing this is when there's a battle pass going on. This game is really boring outside of that. Number 9, Resurrection. In terms of map selection and gunplay, this game is absolutely an improvement over the 2017 original. The maps, I believe, are still impressive by today's standards. Listen guys, I'm not impressed by advanced graphics, I'm impressed by aesthetic. It's just a shame that these weapons aren't that great. All the upgraded weapons feel really weak, and the round change music being completely gone is just depressing. I think that alone made it for at least 10% of this game's appeal. Number 8, Transit Remastered. It's definitely an incredibly well made game. I just think it's so unbelievably boring. You spend more time trying to prepare than actually killing zombies, and it doesn't help how awkward it is to play in this engine. Number 7, Michael's Zombies. What is possibly the most overhyped game on Roblox, it's got a lot of issues. Bad hit detection, generic and uncreative maps, guns feel lacking in power, and overall boring visuals. The boss fight is especially aggravating, but the guns themselves are pretty fun to use, and while I like that there's an attachment system, it's a little basic. Number 6, Last to Survive. Listen, this is where the games are really going to get really good. Really my only complaint with this game is that it's too dark without power. The guns are really fun to use, and I really like the visual in this game, and that the map's layout is unconventional. From the inside of a laboratory to the outdoor to a cave, there's not been another map like it. Remember, this is 2017 we're talking about here. Number 5, Quartal Hausdorn Tulsen. I can't really justify this being higher than the last 3 games, but even for being as bare bones as it was so damn fun. Some of the guns were incredibly overpowered and fun to use, and I really love the special rounds. It's just a shame it got broken after its creator was terminated. And that's it for B tier. Number 4, Operation Coyote. This game's basically got everything. Again, the buildable power returns, but this time it's not so annoying. This game's got great weapons, an in-depth Easter egg of soul boxes, and even a boss. Though the boss is kinda annoying. It just takes forever to die and can instant kill you. I'm not too crazy about this game's visuals though. Number 3, Reminiscence. I will say this game is probably not objectively better than Operation Coyote, it just happens to be more fun. This game's got a decent selection of maps, even if they are all a little generic, but the weapon selection is possibly the second best of any game on Roblox. And unlike most other games, this game gets tough pretty fast, but not to a level where it's impossible to survive the zombies. Number 2, The Last Stand by Darkly. It's such a shame this game never got any attention. It had a massive weapon selection of classic Roblox weapons, buildables, Easter eggs, unlockables, and many different zombie types. But I feel like this game's defining feature is its map design. This is possibly the most creative clone of all time, and no other game comes close. But I can't say that it's the best clone of all time. That one goes to Resurrections at number 1. I don't really care for Dead Town, but Roots of Corruption both stands as a great first-time experience and a fun map. And the attachment system, don't even get me started. And the visuals. The atmosphere is incredible. And this game is home to some of the coolest weapon skins ever. And to anyone that disagrees on this being one of the best games ever, I will say for the first time in this video that you're flat out wrong. I stand and will die by my opinion that this is the best CoD Zombies clone on Roblox.